like to call to order the July 29th, 2020 Brooklyn City Board of Education regular meeting. Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer.
Here.
Mr. Neal.
Here.
Mr. Oper.
Here.
Mr. Slattery.
Here.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Here. Can we stand for the pledge, please? I
pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Caleres. Thank you.
Good evening. Just want a few items this evening for the report. I'd like to, again, thank the board last week for allowing me the opportunity to present our preliminary reopening plan. Obviously, with the health situation in Cuyahoga County, these plans are always fluid, but I believe we're on the right path to reopening schools in August. This past Tuesday, Mrs. Kalish sent out our remote learning commitment form to families. And so as of this date, we have 121 students signed up for the all remote option for the 2021 school year. That's obviously spread between different grade levels, but right now we have 121 students that are committed to the remote learning. If you have specific questions, I would encourage you to either email me myself or Mrs. Kalish in terms of what that's going to look like. Right now we have a date of August 7th for parents to get that back. Obviously, we know that our board presentation is on the 10th, and some of the questions we had this week, some parents were inquiring, is it if we don't get it in on the 7th, can we wait till the 10th? Obviously, absolutely, we want parents to have as much information as they can to make that important decision. So, but right now we know we have some families that are fully committed to the remote option, so we're going to move forward with that. One question I did have specifically for parents that are just selecting the in-school option. They don't want remote, they're coming back on one of the formats. You need to do absolutely nothing. Just we'll treat it as normal school year, and so you don't need to sign up. So if you're choosing that in-person traditional / hybrid option, parents don't need to do anything. You'll receive information from your building principal regarding what that looks like to start the year. Quick update from Ohio High School Athletic Association. So yesterday we received an update regarding our high contact sports. And our high contact sports for us in Brooklyn are considered our football and our soccer. And so pre yesterday's announcement, there was a COVID testing mandate for high contact sports, meaning for students to participate in scrimmages against another school or competition against another school, students would have to have a pre and then a post-COVID test. Obviously, we know that's not realistic with high school students. I anticipate the Board of Health, because that's a Board of Health mandate, I anticipate the Board of Health, where we anticipate them coming out with some modified mandate to either remove that restriction or modify it somehow. But the OHSA came out yesterday and said there are no scrimmages whatsoever for football, soccer, and some other high contact sports that we don't have until that mandate is kind of flushed out. So right now, volleyball is considered for us a low risk contact sport. They're allowed to scrimmage and participate with other schools normally with the restrictions mandated in their policy. But right now, football and soccer cannot go against other schools until that's lifted. Now, they'll continue practicing like they've been doing, but until we get some more direction from OHSA and Department of Health, those sports are not able to scrimmage or compete.
Now, you said pre and post every game?
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's absurd.
Yeah. So it's causing a lot of angst in the athletic world for many reasons, obviously, you know, from just subjecting kids to that type of testing is just not realistic in our day and age. And the fact is, you know, I don't even know if the tests are available, and it takes time to get them back. So it's just not a feasible. It's not feasible for high school athletics. The CVC, our conference met today so we're anticipating and hoping we're going to open up sports in the fall as normal, but we're starting to look at policies in terms of spectators and home and away games and band and cheerleading and all of these other things. So we're looking at, and there will be some modifications from our end, from a sports end, how many people we let in the stadium or the gym, things like that. But we're working on those policies right now. So thanks goes to Mr. Verba, who's been actively participating in that. And then also a shout out to our coaches, you know, our soccer, our cheerleading, band, Hurricanes, football, volleyball. They've been doing a great job this summer. I mean, they've been going with our kids and phasing our kids in since June. They've been working hard, and so kudos to them for doing that. Okay. Update on our kindergarten numbers. So talked to Mrs. Baker today. Right now we have 49 students signed up. I remember Dr. Gladkoff had reported earlier in the summer that was somewhere around 21, 22 range. We're up to 49 now, and I believe I looked at the survey. We have one of those kindergartners who have chosen the remote option. So just kind of an FYI, I anticipate those numbers to increase over the next 2-3 weeks for sure.
Do we have the capability of
to
teach kindergarten remotely?
We will. We sure will. Absolutely. It may look different. You know, we may do some grade banding together, Mr. Singer, where have K1 together depending on numbers. But I think as we go forward, we have to really get a good idea of what our remote numbers are, and then be creative in our staffing. And so I anticipate us taking a look at that in the next 2-3 weeks for sure. And then the last piece I just want to mention, so there is, I don't want to say rumor, but there's some information out there that the Cuyahoga County Board of Health is going to, in the next maybe week or so, be coming down with some health mandates to help guide schools in some decision-making processes. I know Summit County issued a recommendation this week about athletics and activities being postponed until I think October 1st. Portage County did something similar. I don't have the exact date. I know Franklin County in the Columbus area had some similar recommendations. I anticipate Cuyahoga County having similar recommendations or some type of recommendations for us. Here's the thing, you know, county boards of health can't mandate, they can only recommend, but just stay tuned. And to the board and to everybody, we understand that, you know, this is a fluid situation. It's July 29th. We're about a month away from school, so things can change quickly. I think we recognize that, and we're going to work with the information as we get it on a day-by-day basis. But I feel great. I met with the administrative team today regarding our opening plan, and I feel good with the direction it's going. Any questions?
Are we the only red county?
No, there's several other red counties.
There are
Yeah.
several.
Yeah, there's
They're
several other
all
ones.
code red.
Yeah, I think
around
I think Hamilton and Cincinnati, Columbus is obviously red.
Medina's red.
Medina's red. I think Lorain County was a couple weeks ago red. Now they're orange. So I think there's some fluidity with this, and so Cuyahoga County's not the only one in the red situation.
So as far as sports goes, we're pretty much all in the same boat.
I would say if Cuyahoga County Board of Health issues a recommendation, we would follow that recommendation. I don't see why we wouldn't from that perspective. I think we would do that for everybody's safety.
The other question I have is there any possibility of moving the contact sports like football, the spring?
Yeah, that's been a conversation. OHSAA just did a survey for all the principals, athletic directors, and high school principals, and there is some conversation for that. I don't know where it's at, Mr. Singh. I don't know where that's at. It's probably I'm sure it's a very complicated decision, but yeah, there has been conversation because track, softball, and baseball, I think in boys tennis, they're all considered low contact sports, so that would fit in, but where they're at with that decision, I don't know.
Thank you.
Now, how many games did we have for football with Cleveland? Because I know Cleveland has canceled their.
We had 2.
Okay, so we've lost 2 games.
We've lost two games. Mr. Verba's looking at that replacement piece. We've also lost one to Richmond Heights at the end of the year.
I thought he already replaced that one.
I think
though.
he did. So I know for a fact our two of our first 3 games were with Cleveland Metropolitan. I think our first week, I think one is Berkshire maybe or Fairport, one of the two. But yeah, we lost 2 games for sure, and I'm sure that's impacted in soccer and also in volleyball. I don't doubt that.
Okay, and then for the Summit County recommendation, I don't know where all the school districts are at. I know them by name, but I don't know them by county. Are
Yeah.
any of them in Summit County that are in our
None of our,
conference?
no, they're not. I asked that
Okay.
question. We don't have any school districts that are in our conference that are impacted by this.
Okay, so far.
But there is conversation among, because we're Geauga, we're Lake, we're Cuyahoga, I mean, we're all over the place, and this is a big conference. We're all over the place as far as what school districts are gonna try to do.
Okay,
Yeah.
and, I wanted to ask, did you send out a survey? Have our teachers been surveyed yet?
Sent out a survey earlier in the
Okay.
summer regarding professional development, what do you need, those types. Yeah, so it was earlier in the summer, yes.
Okay, but nothing recently, we're not
No,
doing it?
nothing
Okay.
recently, no.
Okay. And then, I have one more thing. I heard that, Mr. Hare did, cause I've been asked about the conflict with Polaris and band, that he has resolved that.
He has.
So that's good news, that he was able to fix it with the
He absolutely
schedule.
was. He
So-
got right on it. Appreciate the parents let us know, kind of. And I think here's the thing: there are going to be things we see in this plan that and others see that we don't. And so I think if everybody understands that we need to be flexible, we're going to work at resolving the issues best we can. I think we're going to be in a good spot. But yeah, he did resolve that issue that we talked about for sure.
Thank you so much. Anybody else have any questions?
Any further response to the survey for the parents?
I've had some good emails. I really have. I've had some good emails, parents with a lot of specifics on kind of the daily operation piece. I've given them the answers. I let them know that we're still working on developing some of those procedures. And then the one I mentioned, parents who aren't sure if they're going remote or coming back, I've said, listen, you don't need to fill out that survey. You can wait till August 10th, hear what we have to say, and then make a decision. So again, I think we're in a good spot, and I want parents to have all the flexibility and freedom they can to, and as much information as they can to make that choice, because that's an important choice for families.
Anything else?
I have one more question related to cats. Do we have coverage now for cats do we have a better number now? Because you mentioned 121 people going remote, so we don't have to worry about.
I don't anticipate coverage issues with cats. I don't. Yeah, because we're gonna in a hybrid schedule, we'll have that gap of, let's say, 1:15 to 1:30 to, let's just say, 3 o'clock before the cat, and we're gonna have our classroom assistants work at covering kids. So we're gonna keep kids here that need, and we have plenty of opportunity and staffing to do that.
Can the parents sign up for cats online, or do they have
I
to call
believe
Laura?
I believe so. I'll
Okay.
find that
Yeah, I
information
don't know
out for
offhand.
sure. But yeah,
Okay.
I believe there's a process.
Okay.
I'm sure there's a process. Typically, if you call Mrs. Baker in the office, she'll be able to direct you how to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anyone else?
I'm good.
Great.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now on to our treasurer's report. Do you have
Mr. Haskins officially closed out fiscal year 20, so I will be taking over the financials.
Okay, that's it. Thank you.
Do you have access to all the bank accounts?
Yes, thank you, yes.
That's not a memo from Bonnie instructing. I didn't get any feedback whether or not he complied. So we're all set?
Yes, I have information for the bank, for our state software, everything, I'm good to go.
Good.
Thank you.
Good news. Okay, now on to minutes of Board of Education. Result of the minutes of the July 23rd, 2020 Board of Education special and regular meetings be adopted, and all action taken by the Board of Education at said meeting is hereby reaffirmed and approved. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Can I have a second? Okay, Rob seconded it. Questions, comments? Okay. Mrs. A, can you call the roll?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Ober,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Result of the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the financial statements, hereby is in there twice, so we gotta take that out. Approves the financial statements of July 1st, 2020 through July 29th, 2020, as submitted by Treasurer David Hoskins, a copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated herein. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments? Mrs. A, can you call the roll?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
No.
Mr. Ober,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
No.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Pursuant to the board bylaw 0131 and applicable laws, the Brooklyn City District Board of Education hereby adopts Board Policy 1320.01 entitled Treasurer Job Description, a copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated herein, effective July 29th, 2020. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a
Second.
second? Questions, comments? Mrs. A, can you call the roll?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Ober,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Pursuant to Board Bylaw 0131 and applicable laws, the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby adopts Board Policy 1320.01 entitled Assistant Treasurer Job Description, a copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated herein, effective July 29th, 2020. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Questions, comments? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Ober,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Pursuant to Board Bylaw 0131 and applicable laws, the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby adopts Board Policy 1320.02 entitled Accounts Payable Officer Exempt at Will Job Description, a copy of which is attached hereto and incorporated therein, effective July 29th, 2020. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Questions, comments? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Ober,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Okay. The board bylaws policy, second reading and adoption. The superintendent recommends the first reading for the following policies, bylaws: 1415 severance, 1416 STRS SERS pickup plan, 1416.01 Medicare pickup plan, 1417 holidays, 1433 vacation, and 1436 personal leave. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments?
Ms. Barcheck, I believe this is the second reading of those
Yes,
policies, so that's, I'll have to fix that, but this is the second reading of those
Okay,
policies.
yeah, because I was wondering, because
Yep,
the title of
yep.
it said second, but
Yep,
this one said
I'll
yeah.
correct that.
Because it was just action last time.
Yeah,
Correct.
okay, second, so we'll amend that part, okay. All right, thank you. Anyone else? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Ober,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Result that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby enters into an agreement with PSA Affiliates and Inc., PSA Associates Inc. for the Title I support services for the 2020-2021 school year per attached contract. Agreement on file in Treasurer's Office. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a
Second.
second? Questions, comments?
Ms. Barcheck, these are required by law for our non-public school systems. This comes out of Title I funding, so there's no impact on our general fund.
Okay. Anyone else?
I always just remember Thomas More. I don't remember in the past we did Queen of Peace. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
mistaken.
Yeah, what happens is if we have a student, it fluctuates from year to year, so if we have a student that lives in our district that goes
Okay,
there, then
gotcha.
that's the fluctuation.
Alright.
So it's always an ebb and flow to the year, so for example, if we didn't have anybody next year at St. Thomas More, let's just say hypothetically, then we wouldn't have to provide them
Yeah, 'cause
service.
these three are kind of a first, because I
Yeah,
always-
so, and it
Yeah.
may only be a few students, or
Right.
maybe a handful of students, but we're required, if the non-public requests the money, then we need to provide it in some form.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
What is urban?
Urban Community School.
urban community school.
Anyone else? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Oper,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into an agreement with Education Service Center of Cuyahoga County Achievement Centers for Children for the placement of students into their education program per ORC 3323.08 for the 2020-2021 school year. Attachment on file in the treasurer's office. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Second.
Okay, questions, comments?
I'll just make a comment for the next three resolutions because they all apply. So we use the Educational Service Center Northeast Ohio to service our visually impaired on required IEP goals, audio, our hearing impaired. And then you can see here we have one student at the Achievement Center. So this is our way as in terms of servicing those students because we do not have somebody on staff in Brooklyn with that skill set to do those things.
Okay, anyone else? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Oper,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into agreement with Education Service Center of Cuyahoga County for admission of students for education purposes for the school year of 2020-2021, visual impairments agreement on file in the treasurer's office. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments, anyone? Mrs. A, can you call the roll?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Oper,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery.
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into an agreement with the Education Service Center of Cuyahoga County for admission of students for education purposes for the school year of 2020-2021, audio and hearing impairment services agreement on file in the treasurer's office. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Questions, comments, anyone? Ms. A, can you call the roll?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Oper,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby authorizes the superintendent to enter into agreement with Polaris Career Center for coordinating career technical student programming, Gateway and Engineering, agreement on file in the treasurer's office. Can I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Okay, questions, comments?
Yeah, this is just a standard agreement. We were not adding new additional programming from Polaris, but we do have satellite programs are here. I don't know if the board has ever approved this agreement before, but I felt like it was important for us to approve it. But there's no new programming. Everything is the same. It's just the standard agreement with Polaris.
So this is a program that's done on campus here?
Correct. That is correct.
I don't think we ever did this before, but that's good.
Yeah, I'm in the belief of, making sure everything is approved and so, like I said, I when talking to Mrs. Baker, it didn't sound like we've done this before, but I think it's important that we do.
Now, is this online or is this gonna be in person?
No, this is, we've had this program, again, I think we had it when I was here 7 years ago,
Right.
so I think it's been ongoing, Mr.
Yeah.
Singer, so,
Ever since the teacher's over and they teach it here.
yeah.
Anyone else? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer,
Yes.
Mr. Neal,
Yes.
Mr. Oper,
Yes.
Mr. Slattery,
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby accept effective date of unpaid medical leave in absence for Mara Ryback as of March 1st, 2020. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a
Second.
second? Questions, comments?
Yeah, I'll just go over this. So we received a notice from SERS, the School Employee Retirement System, about this employee regarding her medical leave. And I know we approved, if I remember correctly, medical leave starting February 5th. They've asked us she's receiving certain benefits from SERS, so that's the reason for the reapproval effective March 1 of the unpaid leave, just to correspond with the request from SERS.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer.
Yes.
Mr. Neal.
Yes.
Mr. Ober.
Yes.
Mr. Slattery.
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Resolved that the Brooklyn City School District Board of Education hereby approves the following persons for the 2020-2021 supplemental coaching assignment with the provision that such individuals comply with Ohio High School Athletic Association rules and regulations and State of Department of Education regulations pertaining to proper certification and/or first aid training and fulfills the requirements of the job description attached to their supplemental contracts. JV volleyball coach Courtney Hall. May I have a motion, please?
So moved.
Can I have a second? Questions, comments?
This is a new addition. It was an unfilled position, and so we're filling the JV volleyball position.
Is this Debbie's daughter, Courtney?
I would believe so,
No,
yes.
she's- no. As long as she coaches like her mom, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Yes. Anyone else? Mrs. A, can you call the roll, please?
Mr. Singer.
Yes.
Mr. Neal.
Yes.
Mr. Ober.
Yes.
Mr. Slattery.
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes. Is there any other business?
The only thing I would bring up is, next meeting's August 18th, correct? Will we need something in between that? I don't know.
We have an,
Alright.
we
We
have,
have
we have,
August
10th
10th
already.
meeting.
Oh, that's right.
yeah, we
we
have
have
the
the
August
August
10th special, so that'll just
Yeah.
be
That's
for
right.
purely the reopening. Just so everybody knows, I've also asked Mrs. Manley, our school nurse, to be part of that presentation to add.
That'll be wonderful.
Yeah, I just think it's good coming from her. She's Board of Health connection, and so any specific health designation questions, we can go right to the source. So she'll also be part of that presentation on the 10th.
Okay.
And that's at 5:30, correct?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that one's early,
Yeah.
5:30, right, Jim? What's the-
Let me look. Yeah, I think I-
Five, was
you
it
said
5 or 5:30?
It's whatever time you want.
For the,
We had 5.
yeah,
5?
Yeah,
everybody
5
still
o'clock.
okay for 5?
Yep.
And
Okay.
and so we'll do what we did, similarly with the last board meeting about the calendar. We'll live stream that. I'll moderate Zoom, so if families wanna submit questions real time, I'll moderate that with Mr. Black here, and we'll allow the administrative team. So I'll kind of monitor that chat piece, but I think it's important you hear directly from the administrative team, building principals, Mrs. Kalish with regards to the remote learning plan, Mrs. Jones regarding some of our special ed, exceptional student responsibilities, some of our related services. So
Yes.
very excited for that August 10th meeting.
I would suggest and encourage people to submit their questions beforehand. Because I think the more time you have to know the questions, the
Good
better
question.
off you are. You know, they can ask that day, but I think if you know
Sure.
what questions,
Sure.
you can incorporate the answers into your presentations for
Absolutely,
your.
that's a great idea.
Yeah, anyone else have any other business? Anything else? Nope,
Nope.
okay. And now to the next regular meeting of the Brooklyn Board of Education is Tuesday, August 18, 2020, in the Media Center, located at the Brooklyn Intermediate Elementary School, 9200 Bidoff Road, Brooklyn, Ohio, 6 p.m. Okay, can I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
So-
Second.
Okay. Anyone? Mrs. A, can you call the roll?
Mr. Singer.
Yes.
Mr. Neal.
Yes.
Mr. Ober.
Yes.
Mr. Slattery.
Yes.
Mrs. Barcheck.
Yes.